stay the other.
You're placing it on the table to be resting into the postponing is an absolute
Great. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I got it. Had to change that to last meeting. I'll get it. When you're ready, Chris. The time has come. It's 7:30. It says 5:30. Fix the clock. It is 7:30. Can you please join us with the pledges of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Terry Wycombe.
Here.
Vice Mayor Steve Sanger.
Here.
Councilmember Darrell Gardner.
Here.
Councilmember Tanya Lumen. Councilmember Bruce Seelow.
Here.
Councilmember Chris Weisenberg.
Here.
Councilmember Jacqueline Wells.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Councilman Wells.
I move to approve the September 3rd, 2024 City Council agenda.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the September 3rd, 2024 City Council agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is the consent agenda. Councilman Wells.
I move to approve the consent agenda of September 3rd, 2024 is presented.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda of September 3rd, 2024 is presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, the next thing on our agenda is a public hearing. I will open a public hearing at this time. It is authorizing unparking of the City of Rawlins Retail Liquor License Number 93, which is Cappy's Inc., doing business as Cappy's Restaurant. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to that? Seeing nobody, I will close that public hearing, and we'll move on to the next item, which is a public hearing. Let's see, let me get where I can read it all. This public hearing, I will open a public hearing. This public hearing is a approval of a rezone change from residential 7.5 R 7.5 to commercial to C2, City of Rawlins parcel described as all of the northwest half, southwest quarter, northeast quarter of section 20, township 21 north, range 87 west, north of Wyoming Highway 71 or I-80 frontage road, and west of Jackson Street, and more completely described as follows. Beginning at the southeast corner, a 6 by 6 inch concrete monument with a brass tablet set for the intersection of right-of-ways of the north line of Highway 71 and the west line of Jackson Street, which bears north 62 degrees 39, 22 west, 1568.81 from the east corner of said section 20. Thence north 02 degrees 23 foot 57 inches east of 602, 50 foot along the west right-of-way of line of Jackson Street to the north line of the southwest quarter, northeast quarter of said section 20. Also the south line of the third, this thing keeps switching colors, of Merrill addition to a 5/8 rebar with AL cap for the northeast corner. Thence, what is it doing to me here? North 82 degrees 48 foot 40 inches west, 1278.43 feet along the north line of the southwest quarter, northeast quarter of said section 20, and south line of the third Merrill addition to a 5/8 rebar with AL cap for the northwest corner. Thence 0 degrees south 0 degrees 9 foot 56 inches east, 559.73 feet along the northwest corner of the southwest quarter, northeast quarter of said section 20, to a point on the north right of way line of Highway 71 and frontage road, a 5/8 rebar with AL cap for the southwest corner. Thence south 87 degrees 35 foot 58 inches east, 1252.44 feet along the north right-of-way of Highway 71 and frontage road to the point of beginning said tract. Just a minute. I lost my place, I'm sorry. Jeez, this is terrible. Thence, let's see. Thence 87 degrees 35 foot 58 inches east, 1252.44 feet along the north right of Highway 71 and frontage road to the point of beginning. Said tract contains 16.961 acres, more or less. Is there anybody here that would like to speak during this public hearing? Please come up front, just sign in and tell us your name and go ahead.
Give me just a second. My name's Wendy Newbrow, and I live at 631 Donnell Street, right across the street from the City of Rawlins application for the zone change, PZ 2408003. This application would change the land from 7.5 residential to C2 commercial. On August 13th, I presented a petition to the Rawlins Planning Commission that created a legal protest against the City of Rawlins application for zone change as allowed under Wyoming Statute 151603. The petition was signed by the owners of 20% of those immediately adjacent to the proposed zone change. This legal protest requires that a favorable vote of 3/4 of all members of the legislative body. At the hearing, City Attorney Ms. Mayberry Nave stated that there are approximately 20 houses within 140 feet of the proposed zone change. Since that hearing, I have now acquired 50% of the adjacent landowners' signatures, or 100% of the households that live on Donnell Street. And I emailed that all to you this morning. All of these people will be directly affected by the City of Rawlins zone change and who all reside on Donnell Street. Also, through a public records request and my own research, I have obtained a copy of the patent that was filed in the Carbon County Land Office in 1967 from when BLM gave the land to the City of Rawlins. This patent specifically pertains to the land listed in the City of Rawlins application for zone change. And I can read you the legal, but you did a pretty good job with reading that. That is located directly south of Donnell Street. In the patent on page 1, paragraph 3, it states, if the patentee, which would be the City of Rawlins, or its successor in interest does not comply with the provisions of the approved plan of development filed in February 16, 1966, or with the approved plan of management filed June 15th of 1966, or any revision thereof approved by the Secretary of Interior or his delegate, said Secretary or his delegate, after due notice and opportunity for hearing, may declare the terms of this grant or patent terminated in whole or in part. The patentee, City of Rawlins, by acceptance of this patent, agrees for itself and its successors in interest that such declaration be conclusive as to the facts found by the Secretary or his delegate, and operate to revest the United States full title to the lands involved in the patent or in the declaration. Which, if I'm understanding that patent correctly, the City of Rawlins is restricted to only use the land in accordance with the approved plan of development and the plan of management. And since the City of Rawlins has not complied with that plan of development for over 57 years, the Secretary of Interior or his delegate has the opportunity to take back the land that was given to them in the city in 1966, if they choose to do so. The patent then goes on to say that the Secretary of Interior or his delegate may, in lieu of said forfeiture of land, may require the City of Rawlins to pay the United States an amount equal to the difference between the price paid prior to the issuance of the patent and 50% of the fair market value of the land, plus a compounded interest computed at 4% beginning on the date the patent was issued, which was in 1966. In paragraph 4 of the patent, it states, provided that if the patentee or its successors attempts to transfer title to or control over the lands to another, or the lands are devoted to a use other than that for which the lands were conveyed without the consent of the Secretary of Interior or his delegate, or restricts directly or indirectly, or permits its agents, employees, contractors, subcontractors to prohibit or restrict directly or indirectly the use of any part of the patented lands, title shall revert to the United States. What this tells me is that the city does not follow through with the approved plan of development or the approved plan of management, or does not obtain prior consent by the BLM or Secretary of Interior, the city cannot develop a museum or any other commercial development, nor can the city lease or transfer the land to another. Also, through another records request through the BLM, I received information that as of August 28, 2024, the city has not complied with the approved plan of development or with the approved plan of management filed 57 years ago, nor have they filed another plan of development or plan of management, which again, I believe gives the Secretary of Interior the right to demand the land be returned to BLM or require the city to buy the land at fair market value plus 4% compounded annual interest. I would also like to mention that through numerous sources from both Rawlins citizens and the City of Rawlins employees, certain members of the council are going to receive or are receiving a large amount of funds on behalf of the city to build a specific type of museum. If this is true, as a concerned citizen, I would like to see these funds used in restoring the city's failing water infrastructure, as witnessed this last weekend, repairing the city streets, or utilized in the restoration of the Ferguson building, thereby increasing tourism downtown. In closing, I believe that City Council cannot currently approve the proposed zone change based on the language in the patent. I do not believe that by leaving the land as it is currently zoned is considered spot zoning, as it is directly adjacent to a residential zone, nor should it pass because every occupied household on Donnell Street believes that changing the land commercial would be detrimental to their property values. Thank you.
Thank you. You can be next.
Sorry. My pen's running out of ink, but you know where to get me.
When you come up to the podium, just sign in and tell us your name and then speak. That's fine.
Thank you.
That's why the public hearing.
Well, I don't have much to say, but I really support Wendy for.
Can you speak your name?
Sorry,
the
I'm
people
Juan
that-
Garcia.
Yes, Juan.
Yeah.
There's people that zoom in and they want to know who.
Okay,
So
Juan
thank-
Garcia.
Thank you,
And
Juan.
I really support Wendy, because I've been in the area for a long, long time. I grew up my girls down there, pretty quiet area, the way it is now. I prefer if whoever interested in the area, try to find another place if they could, because that's kind of, like I said, it's really nice. And I really don't have too much to say. I just support her any way that she needs to.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Sure.
We're Stephen and Catherine Sapp, and we do oppose this rezoning.
When we purchase it, I really like the area that the house is at and the view. It would be a shame to see it commercial across that field.
Just come on up in order.
My name is Tally Schmidt. I live at 729 Donnell. We've lived there since July 2018. I grew up on the south side, lived there all my life. I oppose the change from residential to commercial. It's not much of a view, it's Rawlins Hill, but I love the view and I would hate for something to obstruct that right now.
Hi, my name's Michael Cisneros, and I oppose the zone change. I live at 729 Donnell.
Anybody else?
Honorable Mayor, worthy council, Michael Lujan. I live at 543 Donnell when I'm not living in my restaurant, of course, but back in 1972, when my parents came back to this community, my father developed that street, Donnell Street, kind of a lost fact. It was a dirt road. There was no infrastructure, sewer, or power. And I thank my father for doing that, and he built that house. It burned down once, and we rebuilt, and we're back in it. So we also own lots 1 through 10, which is a trailer and RV park. When I was a kid, the reason we lived there was a quality of life. Yes, it may not be something that you want to live by, but it's also nice not having all the neighbors and all the BS and all the trouble. We, as kids, played, we grew, we found things to do, whether it was shooting BB guns or riding four-wheeler or motorcycles. We didn't have four-wheelers in those days, but and that's what the kids do now. They ride their side-by-sides over there. They jog. There's a walking path that the city has that goes through there. We still shoot the prairie dogs, and it's where our dogs can go run. So it's a nice place. There was an argument that, well, Rawlins needs cleaned up and it's an eyesore for people coming into town. No, it absolutely is not. There are a lot of places that need addressed before that. When I was young, because we were bored, Wally Shepard and I and some of our buddies walked up our hill just for the fun of it. And sometimes when we were really crazy, we'd do it twice in one day. We found a little horned toad and we painted a green stripe on it and found it the next week. So those are memories that we had. And I would like to express to you that quality of life needs to remain the same for myself, my family, and the people that live along that street. And we would urge you to continue to reconsider that and vote no on this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you sign in, Mike?
No, sir.
I mean, we all know who you are, but we won't remember who you were tomorrow.
Thank you for the time.
Yep.
Be back twice more tonight.
Anybody else?
Hi, my name's Tiffany Wrigley, and I live at 625 Donnell, and I oppose to have it rezoned.
Anybody else? Yeah, just come up front.
I'm Jen Rothenberger. I own a house over there on 725 Donnell. It's a rental property. It's a wonderful neighborhood, very quiet, nice, drama-free. I believe it would hurt the property values and the people that are living there to have that over there and have it rezoned. I just asked to keep it the same. And I wanted to just tell Wendy she did a great job on her research. I appreciated that information as well.
Thank you. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? If there's nobody else, I will close the public hearing and we will move to the next item, which is citizens' participation. This is a time set aside by resolution number 2C-1996. It sets a time for public comment of 5 minutes on things that are not on the agenda. So if there's anybody here that would like to address the council on anything that is not on the agenda, now is when. Seeing nobody, we will move on to the next item. And this is under reports, and it is the Memorial Hospital of Carbon County update on the district. And so I will ask that Stephanie Hinkle and whoever else you want to come forward and tell us all about it. Stephanie.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here this evening. Again, my name is Stephanie Hinkle. I am the Director of Strategic Operations for Memorial Hospital of Carbon County. And we wanted to come, as the mayor stated, to share a little bit of information about the proposed hospital district. Just to be respectful of everyone's time, I know that you have a lot of other business matters to attend to this evening. I'm going to be giving an abbreviated version, and I know you do have some handouts available that Lynn was gracious enough to share. There are additional handouts also available at the back of the room for any of our public interested in that. I also just want to note that due to the scope of this project, it's rather large. There's a lot of content. We're certainly not going to be able to address all of that this evening, but instead my intent was simply to provide an overview and to let everyone know some of what we feel are some of the highlights, the essential points. With that, we will be having a series of community forums starting next week. So this actually was great timing, kind of preceding those. Again, you have that information, but there are 3 different forums, one in Sinclair, one in Hannah, and one in Rawlins. And those dates, all of this information as a recap can be found on our website. We have a dedicated landing page to the hospital district, for the hospital district, as well as a dedicated Facebook page. So those are 2 really great resources that I would encourage anybody in the community to utilize, so that you can, again, those are constantly being updated, new information is being added all the time. Just again, really good resources that we hope that the community will continue to utilize for factual information. So with that, on August 6th, Memorial Hospital of Carbon County received approval from the Carbon County Commissioners to pursue the formation of a special district, hospital district. A yes or no question will be on the general election ballot regarding the district on November 4th. The district includes the municipalities of Rawlins, Sinclair, and Hannah. There are also large areas of unincorporated land that fall within the district boundaries. Again, there's a very extensive map that I believe you have a copy of, and again, this information is available at the back of the room and online. So that map explains the boundaries, and it also goes into more depth in terms of the why the boundaries were selected. When you look at our website, I do want to make note that the Platte Valley, Little Snake River Valley, and Medicine Bow were not included. And that is because, as we're all aware, Platte Valley has a new hospital directly in their backyard, and Medicine Bow and Little Snake River Valley already have districts in place. So we felt it was not in our best interest to pursue those areas because they already have other forms of health care, whether it be the hospital or, again, a district that's already in place. So we decided not to compete with those residents within those areas for that reason. The district is based on 3 mills. We could have pursued 6. We chose not to do that. We stuck with 3. Should we decide to, it is something that we could pursue up to 6 at a later date, but that is not the intent. Right now, it is based on 3 mills, so I think that's important for residents to understand. Looking at 2023 assessed property values, this will equate to an estimated $1.5 million for Memorial Hospital of Carbon County. Something else that's important to note, we've gotten a lot of questions on what the money will be used for. This money will be used to maintain the physical facility and purchase capital equipment. So by capital equipment, meaning elevator repairs, HVAC systems, MRIs, CTs. So we have a mixture of both clinical equipment that's necessary. Obviously, those things age, you near end of life. We have to continually be planning and looking ahead in terms of making those next purchases because they are not cheap. We also, as we're all aware, we have an aging facility. It is a county-owned building. We did just recently receive $150,000 in funding from the Carbon County Commissioners. However, we spend over $1 million a year maintaining the county-owned asset of the hospital. We do not own that building, the county does. So again, $150,000 goes awfully fast. So just some factual information for you to keep in mind there in terms of what the funds will actually be going towards. One of the main questions we have also received is in regard to cost. Again, that's the tension point, right? So, and again, we have a very nice, I think, a very complete table demonstrating. It lays it out very clearly for residents to look at based on your 2023 assessed property values. It gives you an annual cost as well as a monthly cost. It also gives a calculation or a formula, so that you can calculate your specific cost based on your assessed values. So I think it's been very surprising as I'm having this conversation with other businesses and other individuals. For an example, a property with an assessed value of $250,000 would cost the owner $71.25 a year. or $5.94 a month. And so again, I just would encourage the community as they're looking at this, while again recognizing and not downplaying that nobody wants to consider increased taxes, being very cognizant of that. However, I would have to make the argument that for $5.94 a month, is that worth it to have viable health care in your community? Last, if the initiative passes, the existing Board of Trustees will no longer be in place. As a special district, a newly elected board is required. The filing period for candidates took place from August 7th through August 26th, so that has closed. A list of candidates can be found on the Carbon County Government website under special districts. A total of 8 candidates completed the filing process, 4 of which are on the board today. These names will also be on the general election ballot on November 5th, and that will be placed immediately below the for or against resolution regarding the hospital district itself. So again, several large items for us as a hospital that we just, again, absolutely encourage the community to take some time and learn more about. This, again, was a very abbreviated version, and the community forums that we have starting next week are much more in depth. We're going to be going into some more examples, some very specific Q&A, a lot of feedback that we've received already to date. And we welcome the community members, whatever community you might live in, even if you're outside the district boundaries, to take the opportunity to come, ask us questions. We have a PAC committee that has been formed. A number of them are here with me this evening, and I appreciate their attendance. And we are really very, very focused on this over the course of the next 2 months, because it absolutely, as you may or may not be aware, there are hospitals across the country that are closing. And I'm not here to tell you that we're closing. I'm simply stating that healthcare is an incredibly challenging business, and rural healthcare specifically is incredibly challenging. And as you can see, the one number that I gave, $150,000 from the county, again, we're very gracious for that, but that just doesn't go very far. And we're spending over $1 million a year to maintain an aging facility. That facility will have to be replaced at some point. We know that has to be a conversation. This $1.5 million is not the end all be all. This does not solve all of our problems, but it's a foundational piece to help us begin to build the cornerstones so that we can continue to provide excellent health care to the residents of Carbon County. One of the other handouts that's at the back of the room is, I think, very interesting and very telling. While the proposed district does not include all of the county, we ran numbers to show for 2023 the number of patients served, and that's from all zip codes throughout the county as well as some surrounding areas. We have a substantial area to cover, and we absolutely treat patients from across the county. So despite whether you live inside the district boundaries or not, we will continue to serve all of the residents throughout Carbon County. But it does cost money to be able to do this and to be able to move forward and ensure that we have the essential capital equipment to ensure that our building is operating at its prime, and at some point, again, being able to get to a point where we can look at building something new and more updated. So again, high level of what we're proposing on the November ballot, and I would welcome any questions.
I don't have any questions, but I have a few comments. We have the only county-owned hospital in the state of Wyoming that is not supported by a hospital district. In the past, there has been some troubles at the hospital. One of the things that I noticed when I was a county commissioner is I went up there when they were interviewing management firms to come in and help straighten out the problems. And it worked for a while. They sent in their A-team, but what I noticed was some of the, I don't know how to put this, some of the better management firms that I probably would have preferred were not interested in our hospital. And part of it is because there was no local buy-in. There was no annual income for it. It is so important that this hospital district passes to save our hospital. That hospital, a lot of people talk all kinds of crazy things about it, but the hospital saved my life 3 times, and some people are real happy about that, and some are probably way mad, but nonetheless, it's an essential part of life. And my experience with the Memorial Hospital has always been very, very positive. The people that work there work their tail off. They do the very best that they can do. They take care of the patients. We're blessed to have the hospital. And so with rural health care being the problem, everybody has that problem in rural America. And we need to think about all those things. I can't, in our position up here, we can't ask people to vote yes or no on it. All we can do is tell them, get information, be educated about what yes or no means. The information that you've put forth here is really, really important, and I'm going to encourage every single citizen to ask all the questions they need to ask to feel comfortable. Read all the information they possibly can so they know exactly what's going on. Get rid of the rumors, find out facts. We're not good at that in this town, but let be fact-driven, not emotion-driven. And thank you for your time, and all the board members. They work their tail off, and they get paid so well. Nothing, and it. I know them all, and they have, for over the years they have just been incredible about spending time trying to help the hospital succeed. So having the board members be elected and not appointed, I think that might make a bit of a difference. Might be the same people, I don't know, but it's a different structure, and it will change things, and I think it'll change things for the better. So I will let you speak now. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm very passionate about this.
Can I ask why this hasn't been pursued in the past?
So, great question. It actually has. It was pursued 2 other times, and it never made it to the ballot. So on August 6th, when the resolution was passed by the commissioners and we received that approval to proceed, that was a milestone. So this, again, we're going to absolutely give it our all to again do as much information and education as possible in coming months. And the other thing that I didn't state is that, from an economic standpoint, I touched just a little bit on the clinical piece, but I think that's also a very, very crucial part of this conversation is that the economic impact that healthcare brings to any community. Hospitals are cornerstones to a healthy community. And again, so whether you're pro MHCC or not, I realize that, again, there's different feelings on that, and that's fine. I don't want to discount that. But again, when you stop and look at the economic viability of any community, hospitals absolutely are a crucially fundamental piece of that equation. And again, it's not hard to find articles and information. What happens to a community when a hospital closes or leaves? It's devastating. And again, that's what we are working to pursue. There's nothing about this measure that's self-serving. We are simply working. We have the most incredible group of people that literally spend much more time there than they do their homes. And their dedication is just, I'm in awe, continually in awe of the care that we provide. And the life-saving measures, there are stories every day of people that it wouldn't be an option for them to get another 90 minutes or 90 miles, to another facility that can handle the level of trauma that we do. That's the heart of this. And with our I-80 corridor, we all understand what that looks like and what that brings to our community. So there's several facets here, and just the economic piece in addition to the clinical piece. We have 139 full-time employees today. That equates to over 13 million in wages and salaries that are reinvested into the local community. That's substantial. And then we stop and think about what would it look like to try and recruit new industry to a community such as this without having viable health care. It's challenging to recruit here as it is. It becomes a much harder conversation if you can't demonstrate that you have solid health care. Young families, we have an aging population. Again, none of these things are surprising to us. We're all familiar with these things. But when you stop and look at it from a more global perspective, again, I think I would just encourage people to put aside the maybe some of the negativity or the personal feelings against, if that's where you sit, and really look at this from a more global perspective, because there is such a large impact by having a viable hospital here.
I just have one more comment. I would not live in a community where there wasn't a local hospital. And I know many
Agreed.
families would not as well.
Agreed.
I could not.
Conversations with other industry, my whole focus since the middle of June has been this initiative. And conversations with other businesses, other industry, again, from a recruitment to a retention, all of those things come into play, and it's a much different conversation. And so, again, I guess that would be my closing comment, is to just maybe stop and think about it from that stance.
Well, anybody else? I can tell you, I appreciate your effort and the board's effort to do this, and I totally hope you're successful.
Well, if this is not the first, or if we're not able to make this pass in November, I guarantee you, if nothing else, people will be much more educated on the importance of healthcare and what we bring to the community, if nothing else. And if it doesn't pass on November, we're going to try again.
Well, the cost to the homeowner, I mean, I was just looking up what my house is worth and adding a little bit because I hope it goes up. And it's $100 a month. Or $100 a year, excuse me. And for $100 a year, God, we need a hospital.
For a family of four, we went to the movies a couple weeks ago, and I mean, that was $80. So again, we all there's disposable income, and I get that. There's things that we want to do with our disposable income, and again, nobody likes the word taxes, but it's just for the value added that you're getting for $5.94, for example, to know that you have emergency care, you have trauma care, you have a plethora of healthcare services, plus what it does for the community economically. That's the argument.
I agree. Thank you very much, and
Thank
thank you, board members I see out there, and for your hard work, and
yes,
I cheer you on.
Just check out our website, the landing page and the Facebook page, and there are, again, handouts at the back, and we would welcome anyone and everyone to join us for this series of community forums starting next week. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right. Next thing on our agenda is DDA Main Street reports. And I will turn the floor over to you, Pam.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. That was a powerful, amazing presentation. Thank you, Stephanie. Lots going on just in the 16 blocks. I'll try to keep it as brief. I was crossing things out as important things. The workshop. The mobile workshop is back at UW, but I have to tell you that I had a conversation with the UW team when they picked it up on Friday. They are going to use us as an example, the city of Rawlins, and what we did this summer, and make that program better. So it's super exciting to work with the University of Wyoming, have our kiddos that use that facility this summer. Just so amazing. Other things that have been happening at the hub, talking about Cappies, we have been working with Cappies to help them on menus and some other things, getting them open next week. So that's been really exciting. Lots of things going on in downtown for facilities. There's a couple different properties that have been sitting vacant, have had some interest, and there are a couple larger properties that have some sales possibly pending. That's exciting. The Derby Club is doing an expansion. They tripled their size. There is a grand reopening expansion on September 25th from 4 to 7. I'm working with Taylor. She's the marketing director for the whole state for 307 horse racing, and there's going to be food and giveaways. They're going to do food from local restaurants here. They're going to buy gift certificates to give out from local. I mean, if you know anything about 307 horse racing and 307 First, they're all about keeping it local in the state of Wyoming. So super exciting that we have a lot of exciting things going on in downtown. I did want to talk about the lighting. So was able to get with Jeff from Acme, and I'm going to kind of read my words because I am not an electrician, but the biggest thing is he has a budget of $2,000 a month, and he's been on the decorative lighting, so he's trying to get through a lot of the electrical issues. But the biggest thing is that on Fifth Street, and that's been our biggest outage, it used to be 240 along that road. It lost a leg. I guess there's two legs, and now with the LED, the decorative street lights have been switched over to LED, so they only need one leg. So he's thinking that he needs to go in and look and change the receptacle, which is in the bottom of the light pole, and put the plug in, the receptacle that we're plugging the lights into, onto the correct leg and not the leg that's no longer working. So we're moving forward. They're scheduled to come out on the 16th and start doing some of that. I will have to have a conversation with Cody and or the city manager, see if there's some money from our fundraising if we go over that 2,000 for the month. But just wanted to give you guys an update that we are finally starting to move forward, and he has been super busy all summer. But he did do some investigating so I could give a report back to you guys. And then once we get the electrical, then we can bring the tough guys back in and be completed. Okay, dates to remember. So lots, this is event season. Art Beat, again, inviting you guys October 4th and 5th, Friday night and Saturday. We have a lot going on Friday night. Friday the 4th, that is homecoming like it was last year. So we'll have lots of fun people downtown. We're going to start the event at 3 p.m. You guys will get a formal invite. And then Saturday, October 5th from 10 to 2, enough time for people to go home, have a little break, and then still make the taste of Wyoming, the food truck event. Trick or treat on downtown streets, of course, that's Thursday, October 31st. We are having a volunteer downtown holiday decorating Friday, November 1st and November 2nd. And then starting on Blue Plaid Friday, Black Friday, November 29th, we'll kick off the November 29th to December 21st. We have a full month of online holiday catalog, Blue Plaid Friday, Small Business Saturday, the list goes on. You'll get more formal. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and you should have this form in front of you, is there is some, talk about energy in this community. You have a list. I have been working with Discover Carbon County Leslie and also Myra from a PIO PR standpoint for the city. Is we have some big events happening in the city. I will have more of these in the back for all of you guys. But as you see, we are having a large volleyball invite next weekend. We're having state golf is being hosted here. A little keynote on state golf. If there's anybody who would like to hang out with these state golfers, they are looking for markers, which is what you do is you ride around in the golf cart with the kiddos and you verify their scores. So Denver Allard is very interested in looking for markers. So if you know anybody who wants to hang out with kids for the afternoon for state golf, it's actually the 20th and 21st. But if you look at this list, you can see I put some numbers. Leslie and Myra and I met last week, and we are creating 111, this is just between next week and through December, 1,100 packets for these kids with things for their parents, for things for them to do, to eat, to go to. Because when, you know, the normal volleyball tournaments, the golf tournaments are not on here. These are the big ones. These are the ones where the parents don't just put their kiddos on the bus. They come and spend money, eat, and stay in our hotels. The other thing I wanted to really push out, and there's a poster coming out, I wasn't able to grab that one, is September 27th, 28th, and 29th. We are having a middle school, high school rodeo at the fairgrounds. It has been, I think it's the numbers back and forth. I think it's been over 20 years that we've been able to be a location and host high school rodeo and middle school rodeo. And so those kiddos will show up and start on Friday at 11 a.m. The middle schoolers, about 45 of them. Of course, you know, those parents don't put their kids on a bus. They load them in their trailers and they bring them and they have their trailers. And so that's a large revenue economic development. So super excited for all the people that have worked to get that event back here in Rawlins. And so I went all the way through what Denver gave me through May 1st, just so we'd have, these are going out, we're tag teaming between Leslie, I, and Myra, hitting all the restaurants to let them know if they need more staff, if they need more produce, just to order more. So they're ready. So because we want to welcome people to Rawlins, Wyoming on these special weekends, because that's ching ching running the cash registers. So I think that is it. Any questions?
Busy schedule.
It is, yeah, lots going on with between events and buildings and any questions?
Any questions?
Okay. I will put these
Thank you.
schedules in the back, too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
I had
very
more,
much.
but you'll wait till next month.
Okay. Thanks, Pam. The next thing on our agenda is the city manager report and staff report. So Tom, I will turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and distinguished council. It's an honor to always come before you with my report. I'd like to start tonight by recognizing and thanking the amazing efforts of our utilities crew. We had a series of water breaks over the Labor Day weekend. A total of 6 different locations that there were breaks. And our staff would work on those until 2, 3 in the morning and then be back out at 7 or 8 in the morning. And they were still working this afternoon, the last that I checked in on them. So I just want to recognize and thank them for their incredible efforts. Being out there checking on them, they always maintain such a positive attitude. And the way that these hit were one right after another, and to watch them take this upon themselves was amazing, and they deserve recognition for that. We did have, over the weekend, 6 different breaks within our water line. What the root cause was elevated pressure within our system. So we had a pressure reducing valve that started to fail at one of our tanks. And so it just elevated the pressure within our system, not really to dangerous levels, but it just elevated it, and our lines throughout our system are fatigued to the point that they would burst under the pressure. And like I said, it was normal pressure. It might have been elevated somewhat, but that was the root cause. So one of the breaks was on Edinburgh, just north of Inverness, right about the theater there. And we put a permanent clamp on the brake, turned the system back on, and it blew out a second time, right down below it. We fixed that one, turned the system on, and it broke again right down. So we had to put 3 different clamps on that brake while we had it. And again, it's just it's aging infrastructure. It's just that our infrastructure has ran its life, and they are very fatigued. We had a water break on Murray near Sigma, and there again we had to use 2 permanent clamps on that. So we clamped it, turned the system on, and then it would blow out again just down from it. There was a water break between Baumgart's and the Econo Lodge, and we had to replace 35 feet of line. And so every time we got in there, there was just more issues. And by the time we were done, we had to replace 35 feet of line on that one. There's a water break on Inverness near Dundee, and we were able to fix that with 1 permanent clamp. And then there was a water break on Harshman north of Murray, and we had to replace a 12-inch line. There was an 8-foot lateral break in it. So it had 8 feet on it. And we had to put in 10 feet of line. And there again, it really wasn't like excessive pressure in the line. It was just increased elevated pressure that caused our infrastructure to give. As we know, with our water infrastructure, we have several issues with that. Our main focus right now is on the transmission line coming into town. As you know, through our master water plan, we have priority 1, priority 2 projects there. We have projects surrounding the lead and copper rule right now that we're inventorying, and we're trying to budget for that. And now we can see the importance of our in-town infrastructure with that as well. And that's pretty much from the springs to the faucet, that we just have issues that we need to work on. We have increased water rates with the focus on that to obtain financing to help with these different things. So we have several projects. But as you can tell, it's a very fragile system right now. The age is very worrisome. I feel that we do have a crisis with our infrastructure. But I really want to thank those again. We had representation working out there from 4 different city departments. We had our utilities crew were out there. We had 2 from there. We had 2 from the water, 3 from the water treatment plant. They came out and helped. We had our public works director. We had 1 individual from community development that came out and helped, and we had 1 from our parks and rec. So we had a total of 8 individuals that worked on these 6 breaks, and they worked endlessly on those. We had a special council meeting on August 30th to approve the application to the Wyoming Water Development Commission, and I'd like to report to council that we did file that application with them on time, and that they have received that, and now we will wait until we are invited when they have a committee meeting to go before that committee to express our concerns and a description of our water system to them. Our RFQP for the Brownsville grant is due on September 12th. And once those applications come in from those contractors, we will do an evaluation of the contractors we receive through a rubric. And then we will select one and bring that to council for approval. The final master water plan has not been issued as of yet, but it is very close. When that comes out, I will forward that to council with that. Our Region 6 WAM meeting for the Wyoming Association of Municipalities will be held here in Rawlins on Monday, September 16th at the depot. Dinner will be provided for council. The WAM's new executive director will be present at that. Ashley Hartstride will be there to meet our staff and all those through WAM. The city has received the final FEMA maps on the FEMA flood zone. As we have talked about, we are working on a work session with council. We will walk through the ordinance that we've been provided with, and we will show council how that affects the flood zone and the city. So you will see a work session coming up on that, and for those in the community that are interested, it will be discussed that night. The last thing that I want to share is that our quarterly meeting with the town of Sinclair on the water system is upon us. We are working out a time for that meeting, and it will most likely be before our next council meeting. I do not have a date and time, but I will get that to council if you watch for that. I will get that out to council so that you'll be able to attend that meeting. And that is my report.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Tom on that? Okay. One thing you mentioned with the Rural Water Board, do you have any idea when they might meet? Do they have any indication of that?
We don't, because we'll have to get on their agenda, and we're not sure which one of their meetings that we will be invited to attend. So right now, we don't know.
Okay. I just was curious.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Tom?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is a city attorney report.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. I do not have any updates at this time, other than the assistance I've granted to Tom and to the other department heads.
Okay, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is direction from City Council to City Manager. Does anybody have anything? Councilman Weisenberg?
Tom, I was approached by a gal that's putting on a costume collection. A lot of local businesses are having drop boxes and stuff. I'd like to see if we could get, I have a poster in my truck. I forgot to bring it in, but I'll get that to you. And maybe we can post it around the city facilities and stuff like that, and maybe make some copies of people coming in. So, but it's for for Halloween. So I want to say thanks to that citizen too for that. It's a great idea. So.
I'm sorry. Yes.
If I may just speak to that, yes, they've been in contact. Thanks to Panita for putting this together. That poster is in city facilities, and actually the city is hosting 3 of those boxes at the rec center, here at City Hall, and at the police department. So thank you for making sure everyone knew about that.
Right, thanks.
The computer kicked me out. Give me 1 second here. I don't know why that happened. Just lucky, I guess. All right. The next thing on our agenda is approval of the third and final reading of an ordinance. And Councilman Weisenberg?
I'd move to table the third and final reading and waive the reading of the ordinance amending Rawlins Municipal Code, Title 5, Business Taxes, License and Registration under 5, Section 5.08, Alcoholic Beverages, to add Section 5.08580, General Penalties for violations.
Second. There's been a motion made and seconded to table the third and final reading of the ordinance amending Rawlins Municipal Code Title 5, Business Taxes, License and Registration under Section 5.08, Alcoholic Beverages, to add Section 5.08.580. Is there any discussion? Councilman Weisenberg?
Yeah, I just want to talk about this a little bit and talking to some of the liquor license holders and stuff. And I believe we should table this at this point in time until we can have a workshop on this, what it's going to entail, get their input on this also, just kind of like what we had done with Title 19 and the fencing ordinances and stuff like that. So bring their opinions to the table and see what we can come up with that scenario there. That's the reason I'm asking to be tabled.
I also think that's a great idea. Is there any further discussion? Should we just have a voice vote, or do you want, okay, you ready? Okay. Is there any other discussion? Can you open online voting?
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. So just to let you know, if you came here for that, there will be plenty of notice sent to the alcohol dealers and whatnot to attend a workshop. So, and I think that's a great idea. So thank you, Councilman. The next thing on the agenda is to approve a set of minutes. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the August 20, 2024 City Council meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the August 20th, 2024 City Council meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 4 yeas and 2 abstain. The 2 abstain was Vice Mayor Sanger and Councilmember Seeloff.
Okay, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is to approve an unparking of a liquor license. Councilman Weisenberg.
I move to approve the unparking of the City of Rawlins retail liquor number 93 Cappy's Incorporated DBA Cappy's Restaurant effective September 4th, 2024.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the unparking of the City of Rawlins retail liquor license number 93 Cappy's Inc., doing business as Cappy's Restaurant, effective September 4th, 2024. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
Thank you. The next thing on our agenda is to approve a donation of a modular building from Black Hills. Councilman Wells.
I move to approve and accept the donation of the modular building from Black Hills Energy to be used for the City of Rawlins Parks and Recreation Department.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve and accept the donation of the modular building from Black Hills Energy to be used for the City of Rawlins Parks and Rec Department. Is there any discussion? And Nikki, I will have you come forward and tell us all about it.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. I'm pretty excited to bring this forward tonight. Black Hills Energy contacted us a few weeks ago offering the opportunity for a donated building. This building would be 28 by 60, and it's coming as is. A short overview, sorry, but would be a minimum of us moving it, which would require us possibly demoing the current building. There's a few things that we need to look into as to moving it and costs. As of right now, the estimated cost would be $15,000 for the move. It is located on McMicken, which is roughly a block and a half away from where the current Parks building is at. The current Parks building, when I first started this position, one of the first things that was brought to my attention is that building is bad enough that it needs to be condemned. It has rotting foundation, there's holes in the sides of it. It is not conducive to the working environment that we want for our employees. This building is updated. It's a 2014 building, metal siding, and would be a huge upgrade for the Parks Department. I do have a few representatives from Black Hills if you guys would like to come up and say a few things and just kind of touch base on what they're offering.
Honorable Mayor and members of the council, thanks so much for having us here tonight. What I'd really like to do is just tell you how excited we are about this donation and to be able to have a company that's willing to offer something like this. I'd like to introduce quickly the members of the team that were able to help with putting this donation together. First of all, Darren Odell, who is our manager of corporate real estate from Rapid City. Chris McMullen, Supervisor of Gas Operations in Rawlins. Melinda Barrett, Manager of Gas Operations based in Cheyenne. And Rachel Allen, Senior Manager, Gas Operations for Wyoming. So this is the team that were able to help make this possible. When we recently relocated our office in Rawlins, we did so because we were outgrowing that modular facility. Our new location brings our people and our equipment into one location, so much more efficient for us. Darren Odell reached out to the city and to Parks to see if there was a need and if we could make this donation possible. And we're just very, very proud that we're able to do this. And we hope that this will benefit the community as a whole. And we're really happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Yes, Councilman Eisenberg.
What the cost is $15,000 estimated to move it to the current spot that the place is now, that the offices are now. Have we looked into relocating those offices to another area due to the fact that that area is congested with the new recycling center and stuff also?
One of the options that we have looked at is moving the new building slightly west of where the current one is because of the congestion with the new recycling building. That would open basically the alleyway that's there currently. It would give a lot more room for the public to enter and exit the recycling center. And we can also use part of the current foundation area. Obviously, the foundation is bad, we'd have to redo that. But it does help with the excavation of the new foundation to move it forward.
And what's the estimated cost of a new foundation for this?
We have it estimated at $30,000. That is just with one estimation right now. We are still looking at others.
The old building is, if I remember right, looking at some of the paperwork, is 25 by 55, and this one's 28 by 60.
Yes.
So you still have room for that?
Yes. Right now, the current area that we would look at moving it slightly west, closer to the parks shop, has that area right there. It's right now they just park there with their personal vehicles.
Okay. Well, I know it couldn't help but be a great improvement. That building's, they say end of life, it's died several times. And it definitely needs replaced. And so I really appreciate Black Hills Energy and doing what they're doing, because we could not have a 28 by 60 modular building for the 50,000 or so you're talking about. That wouldn't build anything. So
correct, and
that would help a lot.
That does include, several furnishings already. There's offices, there's rugs, there's it's completely finished and it's coming as it is. So with the cabinets, the fixtures, the plumbing, I believe that was underneath, the AC unit, the heater, from my understanding.
That's awesome. Any employees by chance? Just asking. Councilman Weisenberg.
Tom, where are you anticipating to pull the funds from for $45,000 for the estimation of moving, setting a foundation and getting this done?
Honorable Mayor, Councilman Weisenberg. So our first attempt will be obviously to look through the current budgets that we have as the year goes on to see if we can create those funds through the budgets. And if we get down into April, May, and if we cannot identify those, we would ask council for a budget amendment and take that out of cash reserves.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Black Hills Energy. We certainly appreciate you. If there's no more, do you have something?
After the vote, I would love to take a photo of this generous donation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any more comments? All right. Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you again for that. That is really awesome. The next thing on our agenda is accepting another donation. Councilman Weisenberg?
I move to accept the donation in the amount of $1,000 from Williams for the City of Rawlins Shooting Complex for targets.
Second. Did I hear a second? Okay. There's been a motion made and seconded to accept the donation in the amount of $1,000 from Williams for the City of Rawlins Shooting Complex for targets. Is there any discussion? I think she got tied up. Yes. This is about the donation from Williams for the targets.
Okay, sorry again, I was talking to them as they were going out. Our board member, Todd Kennedy, applied for this as an employee. He has suggested that we use it towards targets. We've had a lot of target use over the summer, which has been great, but they are ready for some upgrades and need some new welding and lumber to keep them safe, I guess I should say, so that they're not having pieces going all over the place. Yeah, we're just really grateful. I do not believe that any of them were able to come tonight, but did you have any questions?
Anybody with any questions? Seeing none, will you open online voting? And thank you, Nikki, for all of that hard work.
Thank you, guys.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
Thank you. The next thing on our agenda is the rezone change from residential to commercial. I'm going to exercise my ability as a council person and the mayor, and that is I'm going to ask that this be tabled until we can do some research and get to know more about the BLM situation with this piece of property so that we make the right decision. I would like to also add that the council person that was mentioned that wants to spend a bunch of city money on a museum would be me, and that is not going to happen. First of all, there was never going to be any city money involved in the museum itself. That was all being donated, but the lady that I was working with retired as of the 26th of last month. I don't know if the company would still be willing to do what they were willing to do, and so I believe that that's no longer a possibility. And so I just want to mention that so people know. And knowing the way the property was gifted to us from BLM, I've never heard that before tonight. So I personally think we need to stop where we're at and study that. Does anybody else have?
Second.
Okay, so there's been a motion made and seconded to table this until we can do further research. Is there any other comments? Yes, Wendy.
I just want to know if I would be notified when this goes in front of the council again.
Oh, for sure, it'll be very public.
Will I get like a letter in the mail again, or?
I don't know. Panita, can you help answer that?
My understanding is this would be just on a, when this comes up on agenda, you'll be received notice as the general public does of the agenda items.
Man, it might take a while to decide, what's the right thing to do. But yes, ma'am.
One more question, sorry. Is there a time frame that is mandated by state statute or city ordinance that says that you need to hear this within a certain time?
No.
Okay.
No, because it might take a while to do all the research we need to do. And making a decision without all of the information would be we shouldn't do that. So I'm not going to, so. But I'm sure you'll be notified or whatever. The people that have come forth would surely be notified because it's going to be the same exact subject. All right? Thank you. Any other comments before I open up online voting? Can you please open online voting, please?
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 5 yeas and 1 nay. The 1 nay was Councilmember Gardner.
Okay. The next thing on our agenda is to approve the authorization of signing of a letter regarding the request to amend a conditional use permit. Can I have a motion, please? Vice Mayor Sanger.
Let me get to where I can read it. I move to have Mayor Terry Wycombe sign a letter stating the Rawlins City Council has no public comment regarding the request to amend the condition use permit for a commercial wind energy facility in ranching, agricultural, mining, RAM zone. The request is to allow Power Company of Wyoming to amend their original condition use permit wind application to install, construct, operate, and maintain the Chokecherry Sierra Madre wind energy project.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to have myself, Mayor Terry Wycombe, sign a letter stating that Rawlins City Council has no public comment regarding the request to amend the condition use permit for a commercial wind energy facility in the ranch agricultural mining RAM zone. The request is to allow the Power Company of Wyoming to amend their original conditional use permit wind application to install, construct, operate, and maintain the Chokecherry and Sierra Madre wind energy project. Is there any discussion? The only discussion I will have is to tell you that with the national tax credit situation, they have to have these towers hooked to the grid within 3 years of standing them up. And the power line that goes from here to Nevada and California may not be done in that amount of time, and that's why they're asking for this extension. However, they are working feverishly on the farm. Tom and I took a tour, and it's amazing what they're doing, but I just wanted to explain why they're asking for this extension. Is there any further comment? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on the agenda is an executive session. Councilman Wells.
I move to enter into executive session at 8:51 p.m. per Wyoming Statute 16.405 to consider or receive any information classified as confidential by law, to consider the appointment, employment, right to practice, or dismissal of a public officer, professional person, or employee, or to hear complaints or charges brought against an employee, professional person, or officer, unless the employee, professional person, or officer requests a public hearing. The governing body may exclude from any public or private hearing during the examination of a witness any or all other witnesses in the matter being investigated. Following the hearing or executive session, the governing body may deliberate on its decision in the executive session.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to go into executive session at 8:51. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
Just so everyone knows, we do stay live with sound here without council being in. Sorry.
Well, I just don't think we have enough information at the moment. We need to figure out if we even have one. Well, or if we want to get them back, I mean, they're doing to theirs. Yeah. I don't know. It's just.
How was it? I'll be reading mine next time.
You want to get a marker? I'm working that day. When she comes up, just wondering.
I would probably done it.
Yeah, I figured that was something you would like to do.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. What kind of guy?
See all of you.
So, yeah, so there's just a lot of people, extra people coming into town. Yeah.
How you looking this week?
Let me look at my calendar, because I sent an email today, this afternoon to you guys. Good luck. About it. Are you going to this executive? In a minute? Oh. Oh. About a situation.
I didn't see it yet.
So I can tell you guys.
Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, just pull
I
it
didn't
up.
see it.
I sent it. It was the schedule for browncoats, and so look at Myra sent out a schedule. And read my response. One of us like that. One day when we have nothing else to do.
As you can.
Yep. Project's done. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It's
It's actually still pretty good for that, I'm surprised. Use it, they have no rain. Yeah. But it's good. Afraid to go in, it's got a fire, just drive in. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, drive sometimes some grass that's high, and always look up free. Yeah. If you were that way, north.
Oh my gosh, we were driving home from church, and my daughter's calling, Mom, are you coming soon? I'm coming.
Fire hydrant, here, mom said, this afternoon, looks like this.
Let me bring out my phone.
You see where that shit Toby passed down? It is on. Because of the smoke,
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
Yeah, so we can talk about that, and we can talk about, yeah. How was your Denver trip?
We used to hunt that area.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a Flagstaff Road, off of Toby down towards Marina. Mighty Mountain, we used to hunt that a lot.
Vista's kind of a cool little place.
I love Buena Vista.
It's
So
I probably haven't been there since I was like 12. This is like 48 years. 40 years.
I can't do that, so.
48 years. My husband turned 59. He had a birthday on Friday, and he was like, remember, I'm turning 59, but guess who in about 4 months is turning the big 6-0? And I said,
I hope you're doing some business.
you need to tell him that.
That should be at Paris or something.
Paris, Idaho.
Paris, Texas.
Paris, Tennessee.
Paris, Texas.
Paris, Idaho.
No, that's not what we want to do. That's not what I want to do.
Guys, it was in the program I was in.
Okay, so
Lived in Paris. And so I would ride from hotel to Paris with him and my parents came over and picked me up. That's when I was doing back and forth for information and all that kind of stuff.
But what do you want?
Yeah. Paris, Idaho.
I'm wide open Thursday. And I can do anything tomorrow.
Drive pretty village.
Fun.
6 hours for a full exam.
Yeah.
So I
Not all it amounts to.
am available tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, not great. Friday, I'm great.
Yeah, you looking tomorrow? What's we talk tomorrow?
Yeah, so he's up there.
3 o'clock?
You can come back, keep dropping 16.
Staff meeting at 2 Saturdays.
So why don't you just call me when you're done for staff?
Okay.
I'll just put like 3 in my calendar.
Check.
Just call me out here.
Well, everything, play with the city for having everything else, spend money on other frugal things.
3:34, whatever. I was meant to call you today, and I got, and I was talking to Myra, she's like, oh, he's not.
You do
he's
my
getting into
other
town."
3
Okay, well,
ones.
then I won't call you.
Yeah, we should.
I think they'll do that, but once a year I get.
Your grass looks fabulous.
Thank you very much.
It's
I
much.
use the day.
I think that's not on our list of things to do, even though, not on our list.
You did a nice job.
They did a very nice job. His new grass looks amazing.
Who's?
You got new grass,
Yeah,
you
new
got new
grass.
sod,
Sod.
it's beautiful, beautiful.
So far, hopefully it'll stay that way.
Well, it's perfect timing, it's
Pour the
cooled
water
down.
on it. Pour the water on it.
We are 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Plus it's been raining, so that's nice. Is this gonna be a long one? You need to stick around? Sure.
Good. Yeah, we're good.
It's gonna be a good one.
I hope it's good.
Okay.
I hope, I think it will.
I'm gonna take off, so will you just shoot me, are you gonna be here Friday?
I won't Friday.
Because you're gonna
I
take
have
off.
to go, Billings to Billings to my diabetes doctor.
Good.
That's my annual visit, so.
Okay.
Why don't you go for that before instead?
I have something Thursday night.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's something. Because we saw that.
So we gotta leave at 6 in the morning. Earlier.
It's at 2:20 and I think it's 6 hours up there, so.
Where are you gonna spend Friday night
Then
then?
I gotta get back, Rawlins got tennis, Saturday.
Where's tennis at?
Jasper.
Oh, we don't have to go all the way.
So, well, I have to get her
Oh,
on the bus.
that's right, 'cause she doesn't drive.
Do you go out through like, Powell and all that?
Well, we can, there's times we come home that way. We just go right up the interstate, go to Casper, get on 25.
Okay.
And just go straight to
But Billings is only 5 hours.
Yeah,
5 hours.
5.5 somewhere.
Because that's where my daughter's getting married, and so she's been mapping it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's where, she's getting married, and that's where they're having the reception.
It's in Billings?
Anyway, in Billings.
Cool.
Because
Well,
she-
that works.
It's called Camelot Ranches.
Oh, Oh, okay.
It's this resorty thing, and so she looked at Cody and Sheridan, and,
Oh, that's a beautiful spot.
yeah. And so as I said, because she was looking at South Dakota, and I'm like, that's like six,
The
seven.
best place in Billings, you can think I'm nuts, they've got botanical gardens at the zoo.
Oh, they do?
Oh, it is
Oh, good.
so
So
beautiful.
I may like sit down with you and like, because people are coming in like
Yeah.
Wednesday before.
Yeah, I love just going and sitting in the zoo and the park. It's just, they have a waterfall. It's manicured, it sits kind of in a bowl, and there's been a lot of receptions and things there.
I have to show you, I'm gonna, like, because you're gonna appreciate this. It's not in my possession anymore, and you're gonna appreciate it. Is our picture, you know, that picture, that Conrad Sherwing, that is of the $50,000 painting that was in my building. So it's up for auction on, I'll share this with the council next month. So this is the actual picture that we were given.
Which one? This one here?
This one.
This one with the Teton? Oh, yeah, I know where
It's
that's at.
Yep, and so it's the same picture that Ansel Adams did.
Yep.
Okay, so Conrad did it. We finally worked with an auction company, and this is the auction catalog. So we're in the catalog, but what's really cool is this is our picture, and it made it on the Western Art front.
Wow.
So this will be auctioned off on September 14th.
That's cool.
And we're hoping, because they'll auction off the Ansel Adams, which is supposed to go like for 150, 160,000.
So it's the Tetons, but where is it from?
So it's on the Snake River.
It's a lookout there. There's no
Lookout.
parking spot lookout.
Yeah.
Snake River lookout.
Yep. So we're hoping that people are like, so, you know, if they're bidding on
That is
this,
such a beautiful spot right there.
they can't afford this bad boy, but then they can wait and get the fall color vision of it, and we get $60,000. But yeah, so look at that. So they sent me the auction book. I really wanted to go up, but of course I'm thinking, oh, it's off season, we'll be good. I forgot that this Jacksonville Art Auction Festival of Arts is like a 12-day event in Jackson. Cheapest room I
Is
can
that
find.
at that art place as you
Yeah.
drive into town?
That's who took it from.
That's who took it.
I mean, we have to give them 10%, but, I mean, I worked with 3 different auction houses. This has taken me a year and, well, since you got here. So, because you were like, I think that needs to be in the safe, and I'm like, it's in my building. Once it finally left my building, and then I had to get insurance from Steve Sanger and Mara to take it from here to Jackson, because I was worried, you know, something happened.
Car accident.
Car accident went there, so, yeah. So it's actually sitting in Jackson, and they cleaned it up, and it's beautiful. So, yeah, so we're hoping, you know, this will go for a chunk of money, and then people will be sad they didn't get it, and then they can bid on ours, because that's how the lot goes. We're super excited. And then look at, on the opening cover, this is the inside cover. There's our picture again.
And Ansel Adams is a picture, not a painting, right?
It's a picture.
Looks like a
Pretty
picture.
sure it is.
I think it is.
That looks like a thing.
Let's see,
I
it's
thought he did a lot of
192.
pictures.
It doesn't say. 192. It is, no, it's a silver print. Oh yeah, it's a gelatin silver print. Remember a gelatin silver print mounted on board.
Hmm.
You guys, it's only 15 by 19 inches. $150,000.
I know, but that's not like a whole wall.
Yeah, it's not about that size. About that size. Yeah, so I think it's,
When you good?
so it's, yeah, I think it's awesome that we're like on the inside cover.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so this will go.
Yeah.
Good.
To get some work
We
done.
never know there are some people
We've
with friends
donated
of ours.
this, so it's sat in the Bank of the
Put
West.
the trailer out.
And the Bank of the West Building
Cap.
gave it to us
Did they, when they,
when they closed.
kind of got out of the building?
Yeah, plus
Yeah.
4 Remingtons, 2 Remingtons, they
It's
weren't,
like
they're
down in the
museum
middle.
quality, they're not true
That's good.
Remingtons. But
Okay.
they're museum quality, but we
They're
sold
not very-
2 of them.
Yeah, we're
Three of
supposed to
them.
bring him.
they've got two of those at the museum in Cody.
True, regional, yeah.
And then they have, that's Charlie, what's his name, Russell?
Yeah.
Charlie Russell
Yep.
pictures in there. Paintings.
Yeah, I was gonna tell them about this, but then I thought that's a long story, how we got this. So I thought I would be able to tell them at the next council meeting how much we
The mountains behind us.
received.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Thursday, maybe we can do it next Monday.
Let's shoot for Monday. I don't know, my calendar is like crazy, but
Okay.
here.
There's just a couple of, maybe pick your brain. That was probably,
Was that
there's
this
a
week?
bunch of things that have come since I sent that, like an email that I sent, so.
I'll send you the one from the, just asking for stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's.
It came today and I don't know if I've opened it yet.
Okay.
But
I
it had
knew,
EPA authority
well,
on it, so
I knew it was
I'm
coming
asking-
because you got, yeah, because I'm like, I haven't gotten anything in, so.
They're pushing it back. I was hoping to get the audit done so we could get on software solutions.
You did the switchbacks at the
Really bad, I want to get on it. but they-
Well, because the
Yeah, it was
F-32s
like
are.
Friday late in the.
Yeah, and I've got that, or I can do that.
Right when you get
I've
off.
got it
It was
about
beautiful.
beautiful.
Your F-66.
Yes,
It was like mountain.
Okay, but I'm already on my, I've already started my F-32.
Yeah, you've got the.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm almost through the F-66.
You're not having, because the auditors used to do it.
Oh, my numbers are right.
No, I'm just saying it's.
They're not touching my numbers.
Well, that's why, well, but that's funny, because for 18 plus years, every time I come up, the auditors would go, oh, well, we'll do your F-32, why did you? And I'm like, oh, no, that's okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
So we've always done it too. And then I just give you a copy.
Yeah. No, I know I got our numbers trying to.
Yep, yep.
You're
right.
I bet you that was a huge relief.
Yeah.
And then you gotta get your hours in, to do that, kind of end of September or
I
October.
think it's in about 40 hours.
So are you guys still meeting? I've been reading that book, but I didn't know.
We haven't been on chapter 3 yet.
Okay, so the first
We
one.
will. We did in chapter 1 and 2.
We met at the park.
Yeah.
You gave me the book and then something
Yep,
came up.
and they come around
What
corners
told
like
you?
right at you.
Some came out that day.
Yeah.
But we haven't met on chapter 3.
Oh, okay, so we look, yeah, because
we're trying to get it.
I'm actually on chapter 5.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's good.
It
Yeah.
starts quoting out of books I've read. That was cool.
I know, I agree. I know, yeah, I have a new one I'm gonna bring you.
Lewis.
That I just read.
There's another one
It's
in the
some
middle.
great,
I
it's
forget
like
what it's called.
The coffee bean.
Yes, we would.
Ah.
It's super cool. I got nothing. Leadership, yeah, I'll read, I read it this weekend. It's a simple read and more really like good, huge, quick takeaways. So,
Oh, love to read it.
okay.
I've got 2 other books here.
Usually that one's
Well,
closer
what I
to
like about
7.
this one is I'm reading both of them, Scott's reading, because Scott goes, you're reading both these books, I go, well, I'm reading the one that Tom gave me, and it's more in depth and you have to think about it. This, the coffee bean one was quick, and, but it had some great little takeaways.
Okay, good.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to get a committee together to go over another one, but we've just been going some.
Nice. I don't, I mean, this was not even, I mean, tonight's was like just a touch, it's been crazy.
Yeah, this is, we've just been going. Yeah.
Okay.
3 hours in the morning.
Well, so you think Monday, might?
Monday, I think I'll look.
Okay, do you want me to have, do you want me to call Lynn tomorrow and have her just,
Yeah, would you schedule something Monday?
Monday the 9th? Okay.
You know what it is, anything?
Yes.
I'm booked, I know.
Yeah, you have a very big meeting that you might, but, yeah, just give me a call or something.
Okay.
Is the 9th, meeting I announced tonight?
No, that's the 16th.
That's the 16th.
That's the following.
It's the following one.
Because Ashley sent me an invite to that too,
Okay.
for WHAM. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
the 16th and.
The 16th is a busy day because we have the Brownfields meeting
Yeah.
and then that, and then WHAM.
Well, this whole month is already, his month is
Are
already.
they, are they here those weeks, or are they here just times during those weeks?
Who? Brownfields?
Yeah.
So they're, so what?
So, yeah.
You had a good trip?
I did, it was really nice. My phone.
Chris Christina told me is they're gonna have the
I didn't have to
kickoff
say
meeting
no a
with us
lot
on
last
that
time down
Monday.
there either.
And then they're just gonna, and then just do different buildings on different weeks.
Different weeks, so they'll be in that.
Yes.
That's what I
Yeah,
was wondering.
yeah, yeah. But they wanna get the initial, sit down and go over like Ferguson with us, Pine Street, Golden Nugget with City, and then, the Pink with, yeah. Okay, okay,
Sounds
so I'll
good.
set that up with you. Have a good visit, we have good tonight, and then Good Friday night.
Yeah, I hope Friday goes well.
Okay, okay, bye. Bye. I will see you tomorrow. So you're, I'll just, if my front door is locked, sometimes I lock it and it just gets too crazy.
Do you want me to
just
shoot the lock up?
Yeah!
Call
That would-
First Entry.
That would be fun, but everybody would like one would be like, yeah, I'm just, this is.
Okay. Sounds good.
This is
Tom,
me.
you don't need me to stay?
This is the mic. What, do you want
Oh, wow.
mic
I
to?
think we're good. Yeah, I really think we are.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll see you
I
guys
don't
later.
know how long it'll go.
All right. All right, see you guys
This
later.
is the first mic. But,
Oh, okay.
okay, this is
Yeah.
me because my screen. But you can see,
I don't know what that one's called.
anyways,
Yeah.
so you can see the wall, and you just. And the tide's out and
Yeah, because there's a
people,
beach.
there's people climbing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I want to show, oh, this is what I want to show you.
Now you know.
Okay, I gotta get a time for her, 9:15. Okay, so I wanted to show you this. So, this is my, I'll show you. That's my dad. This is my dad. That's so. Okay,
Cool.
my dad and my twins. He wanted to learn how to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. There he's at. He went, my sister went camping and me, and my dad came up with it. Okay. And then, this is the picture
Like you're swimming out there.
Okay. My dad's knees.
Nice.
And he just learned how to do it.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that
That's
amazing?
cool.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
You know he's enjoying it when he can do that.
Yeah.
He's had enough. Okay, I gotta write her down. Yes. But yes, I just thought that was awesome. Very cool. You know, not too many.
still alive. Coming out of the basement.
No. I'm not attempting to.
Less people up here now.
Yeah, all cleared out.
Oh, he's here.
Maybe we didn't all make it.
That's true, you're missing one.
Let me just have to holler.
I'm so excited about all these events. And the swim team is hosting a meet as well in Rawlins.
Who is?
The Rawlins Rebels swim meet.
Oh.
Is that
I don't know, I'm not involved in the club anymore. I'm not the president anymore.
And the senior Olympics golf is also.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for the state.
What is?
The senior Olympics golf.
Is that
It's
Dushan
It's a
Shinkles?
Dushan's
Oh.
for Special Olympics. So Pam's gonna add that. Senior Olympics golf, is that Roche?
Councilman Weisenberg.
I move to come out of executive session per Wyoming Statute 16-4-405 at 9:39 PM.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to come out of executive session per Wyoming statute 16-4-405 at 9:39 PM. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Thank you for opening online voting.
Yay.
Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, was there anything discussed in executive session that somebody found improper? Seeing none. Executive session minutes. Councilman Wells.
I move to approve the executive session minutes of August 20th, 2024, regular city council meeting as presented.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the executive session minutes of August 20th, 2024, regular city council meeting as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Or open online voting, I guess.
Online voting is open.
I sustained because I wasn't here.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 4 yeas and 2 abstained. The 2 abstained was Vice Mayor Sanger and Councilmember Seelow.
All right, is there anything else that needs to come before this body tonight? Seeing nothing, I will adjourn this meeting. The next meeting will be September 17th, 2024, regular city council meeting.
Right here.
What?
Personal line was part of a larger dance to the city.
So do I give these to you, Panita, then?
Residential use.
Oh, damn it. Oh, I know it. I get them on the website too.
See you guys. Might have been constant for the last 2 weeks.
Remember what she said
Oh, yeah. It was 1966.
Right. What was the original plan of development?
There was none.